If you guys are anything like me, you've been absolutely loving Super Mario Bros. Wonder so far. In fact, this game has just been so fun that I've honestly been taking my time playing through it. I'm in absolute awe of how Nintendo was able to seamlessly reinvent the 2D Mario franchise and make everything feel so new, but so just perfectly Mario at the same time. I'm still playing through the game, taking my time and trying to get 100%. But even still, I feel confident in saying that Super Mario Bros. Wonder is arguably one of the best, if not the best Mario game ever. I was thinking about that and I realized that recency bias is a really real thing. So in order to back up that crazy statement, I have 20 reasons, 20 features, 20 wonders of wonder. So buckle in because I'm about to explain to you why Super Mario Bros. Wonder could be the best Mario game ever. Number 1, the badge system. We have never had anything at all like this in any other Mario game. These badges are unbelievable. Whether you're talking about the parachute hat that lets you fly on command, or the dolphin kick that gives you crazy boosts underwater, there's the vine grapple hook, a second wall jump. You can meticulously craft exactly how you want to play. It allows you to choose your play style, whether you fall into pits a lot and don't want that to happen, or want to be able to fly around almost every level. These badges add a ridiculous amount of variety to how we play the game, and it's not something we've ever seen in a 2D or 3D Mario game before. Number 2 is the challenge badges. I didn't even touch on these in the first point, but these definitely make the game harder. They're not necessarily good badges, but because that they add so much replayability, it's ridiculous. After I 100% the game, I'm immediately going through and trying to play through every single level with maybe the jet run badge, or the one that basically turns you into a spring and you can't stop bouncing. These badges make the game harder in almost every scenario. But because of those restrictions you can place upon yourself, replayability for this game skyrockets. There's just so much content here. Number 3, break time. In Wonder, there are obviously main levels that have an exit, maybe a secret exit and a Wonder Flower, but there are also these break time levels. These can be anything from a badge challenge to a unique little gameplay gimmick. They add an absolutely perfect flow to the gameplay, breaking up the, I guess you could argue, monotony of the longer form levels with quick little bite-sized challenges that are super rewarding to play and always leave me with a smile on my face. Some of this game's best moments come within these little challenge levels, and that's just so cool. Number 4, Wonder Flowers. I'm gonna be honest, 2D Mario levels are rarely memorable. Obviously, that goes without saying for the new Super Mario Bros. Games. I love those games, don't get me wrong, but you often don't remember the specific levels and rather remember the fun time you had playing through the whole game. Even early Mario games like Super Mario 3, very rarely is there a level in that game that like fully sticks with you, whether it's because it had a unique gimmick or something like that. You could argue that every single level in Super Mario Bros. Wonder is more of a memorable quote-unquote level than almost anything else we've played. Like, imagine if you were playing New Super Mario Bros. And then suddenly you turned into a giant balloon in space and started floating around. That would be a level that was talked about in the Nintendo community forever, and that's just another day at the office for Super Mario Bros. Wonder. The levels themselves are phenomenal, but the wonder effects you get when touching that Wonder Flower make them absurdly memorable. These experiences stick with you, and the entire game is infinitely better for it. Number 5, I just want to talk about the second level in this game. Yeah, that's right. This game won me over on its second level. Piranha Plants on Parade is one of the best levels in any 2D Mario game I've ever played. Not only does it introduce the awesome gimmick of going into the background, there's a great secret exit that I don't want to spoil how to get to, but it's gas. The level design is awesome, and wait, are these Piranha Plants singing now? Yeah, this is when I realized, okay, Nintendo is going insane. They are completely just getting rid of any past notion you had of what you thought a Mario game could be. No one thought a 2D Mario level would include an almost Paper Mario musical number. Even in the best 2D Mario games, you would never see something like this. And in the second level, they hit you with a Piranha Plant musical number. Yeah, okay, this game is gas. As I mentioned before, there are secret exits, and these lead to so many cool things. Sometimes it's just a little offshoot on the map, and it maybe lets you see a world that you haven't been to yet. But some secret exits in this game lead you to like 5 more levels. This game is absolutely massive, and it's very easy for you to miss out on a significant portion of it if you're not going for these secret exits. Like seriously, Bull Rush Express, the secret exit in that level leads you to like 2 more levels and then a secret world. Absolutely insane stuff. Number 7. 7, the overworld in this game is beautiful. Not only graphically is it awesome, and sometimes you'll see enemies that are in the levels chilling near where the levels they're featured in, which is just an awesome touch. I love that. But there are all sorts of surprises here. I don't really want to show much gameplay of this because it's a bit later in the game and I don't want to spoil anything, but anyone who's gotten to World 4 knows what I'm talking about. The overworld in that one is so sick. There's just cool stuff around every corner, little surprises, entire secret levels, and most of it is freely explorable too, which is just so cool. Okay, Mario games are always known for their electric music, and Wonder is no different and arguably a step above. The music in this game is straight up gas. As a YouTuber, I love it because it's now just infinite new music for me to put in the background of videos, but even just as a fan, the music in these levels are absolutely ridiculously good. Super catchy, but they never overstay their welcome because there's so many different tracks. I'd wager to say Mario music has arguably never been this good. For number 9, let's talk about the enemies. Yes, enemies plural, because it feels like every single level introduces a brand new enemy with a unique gimmick. Gone are the days of just Goombas and Koopas being the standard foe for every single level with maybe Bob-ombs in a castle. It seems like every single level has a brand new enemy. I really hope Nintendo uses some of these in games in the future, or at least keeps going with this philosophy of a new enemy for every level, because these are so cool. One of my favorites has got to be the bluebirds, which shoot out these little straw-looking things that you can use as platforms. Oh, and who can forget the bouncing hippos, the condarts and pokepedes? Okay, I can't even just keep going. There's so many. The out-of-the-ways too, they're so good. For number 10, speaking of the new levels, because of the way Wonder Flowers work, in which they kind of turn your preconceived notion of the level on its head, you often get crazy and super creative, unique twists on these enemies. A perfect example of this is the Hoppycat trial. These things jump whenever you jump, and then the Wonder effect spawns massive ones, which you have to use in order for them to jump through the level and clear the path for you. It just flips the entire way you think about the level on its head, and there's so many examples of these that I don't really want to spoil, but you'll know what I mean if you play the game. It's just gas. For number 11, we gotta talk about the character animations. This is one of the most talked about parts of this game, so I'll keep it brief. But man, it deserves to be so highly praised. The animations in this game are just unbelievable. If you go into a horizontal pipe, Mario leaves his hat and then grabs it. If you go into a vertical pipe, there's a completely new animation for that. If you go into a vertical pipe as an elephant, there's a new animation for that. If you go into a pipe that's like vertical but from the ceiling, there's a new animation for that. Same if he's an elephant. There's just so many new animations in this game. It makes the entire experience feel so lively, so enjoyable. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't really remember any time in any other Mario game, 2D or 3D, where simple animations like that, such as going through a door or going through a pipe, had so many different variations even based on the power-ups you had. Number 12, just look at some of the levels on screen and tell me, are the backgrounds in this game not like works of art? Sometimes I'll just stop moving because A, there's no time limit anymore, thank God, and just look at the backgrounds. They're unbelievable and they're so unique. It feels like there's a different one for every single level. No more generic reused assets here. And because of that, every level feels more unique as well. These play like, it seems like a minor role, but I think they're actually pretty important in contributing to the wondrous feeling you get while playing Wonder. For number 13, I want to talk about like meta stuff. I don't really know what to call this. It's just stuff that like you would never see in other Mario games. Like in this level, when the bulls hit the flag and it just goes, yep, okay, yeah, the flag has fallen off, it's dead. Or in this level where the Wonder effect speeds up, and then another one where it slows down everything, the music, the voice lines, the enemies, all the animations, it's just perfect. It messes with your preconceived notion of what a Mario game is and redefines what it can be. For number 14, if you somehow ever get bored of this game, just running, jumping, platforming, there are Wonder effects in this game that just completely change up the entire control scheme. You can walk on the background, kind of in a quasi 3D space, like that's just completely new. Speaking of changes of pace, you can turn into a balloon and start floating around. I've already talked about this, but like this is insane. You would never see this in any other Mario game. It completely changes the way Mario controls, the way you have to think about the game. It really changes it from a platformer to just something else entirely, and I love it for that. It makes the game so much more unique and engaging. For number 15, we have more environmental levels. The perfect example of this is Pokepede Pass, which is a snow level that ends up going into a massive blizzard that spawns snow that you have to jump on. This goes from, oh, it's a snow-themed level to, oh my god, I am in a blizzard. The environment plays a huge role in these levels, more so than any 2D Mario game I've ever seen. Number 16 is the graphical diversity in this game. I'm mainly talking about these silhouette levels here. These are just absolutely stunning. We've seen these before in the modern Donkey Kong Country games, but just something about seeing them in a Mario game, it's beautiful. Number 17 is the character roster. It's the biggest in any mainline Mario game ever. Half the characters are easy mode, which is one of my gripes with this game, but I'm probably gonna do a everything I don't like about Wonder video, because I mean, the game is amazing, but there are some problems. So actually drop a comment if you have any complaints with the game, because then you might be featured in that video. But regardless of the fact that half the roster is just Yoshi's and they're all stuck on easy mode, the fact that we have 12 characters here is absurd. They could have just given us green Yoshi and not given us all the other color variants of Yoshi, but we got all sorts of Yoshis. We got Nabbit, we got Daisy. This roster is just so nice. Number 18, we have more in-depth powers. The power-ups in this game are arguably lacking. In fact, there's only 4, at least that I've seen. I haven't 100% of the game, but I'm assuming there's only 4, those being the Fire Flower Classic, Elephant Mario, Bubble Mario, and Drill Mario. However, I'm totally fine with these 4 power-ups. In fact, I arguably like it more because not only are these power-ups way more in-depth, like the Drill power-up alone has so many unique gimmicks to it. So does the Elephant. The fact that you can spray water out of your trunk, that stuff is just so neat. There are less power-ups in the game, but they feel way more fleshed out. They feel way more cohesive to the levels that they're in. And to be honest, I just love everything about the 4 power-ups. I think they're great. For number 19, we have the little flowers that you'll see, not the talking flowers, although those are gas too. That could have been a point all on its own. I'm talking about these little blue flowers that you can hit and then they spawn either coins or a little challenge for you or something. Nintendo did not need to add these in at all. In fact, they rarely do anything super consequential to the gameplay. Maybe 1 or 2 of them will give you a 10 purple coin, but most of them are just, you know, some coins here or like a block shows up here. But the fact that they're added in just, it makes the levels feel so much more kinetic. They feel more alive. They're constantly changing and adapting to what you do as the player. If you hit this flower, these coins spawn. It makes these levels feel less like, oh, okay, it's a bunch of tiles that Nintendo placed down in a specific order to make a good level, and more like, oh yeah, this is a world I'm platforming to that's constantly changing and adapting to my own actions. Number 20, we have the online. I'm just gonna be honest, I haven't even used it that much, but between all the standees, the interesting ghost gimmick, this is by far the best online we've ever had in a mainline Mario game. In fact, the only real comparison here is 3D World's port on Switch, but that just lets you play the game in multiplayer normally, and the online here is just completely, it's just a whole nother level. It adds so much replayability. Running through levels with live ghosts of other people is so cool, and you can just play with friends if you want to do that too, so there's no loss there. Hopefully you can tell, I think Wonder is one of the best games Nintendo has ever made. I think it's arguably the best 2D Mario game. There's a case to be made, it's the best Mario game, period. We have so much more content coming out about it, including a video ranking all the levels. But let me know what videos you want to see down in the comments below. I'm serious. Like, if there's Wonder stuff you guys want to see, let me know. I'm trying not to do anything that has massive spoilers, but I mean, the game's not super long. I think at some point it's probably fair if I start going into those. But let me know down in the comments below. Subscribe if you're new. I'm Thomas from the Switched Up, signing off. Peace.